Hello and welcome to the 112th episode of the Gochuucast. And today, since we didn't do it last time, we're going to be looking back at the previous season that just finished. So last time we took a look forward, but we hadn't watched enough of the previous because we all suck. Uh, and so we waited. And I still didn't get that much more done, to be honest, but I still
I
have
finished one more, but
enough watched of most things, but I can at least give some level of thoughts on it. Let me pull up the spring season. Only show my anime. I think that yeah, okay.
well, yeah,
So I can just start from my top and go down because I don't think there's
yeah.
anything that any of us
I have,
watched individually that's different.
yeah. I think, I mean, I finished
Yeah, I don't
three
think
this
so.
season, and so yeah. When you get to it, I'll give my input on that. I guess.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
no, I guess there was one that I watched that you guys didn't watch, but yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah, we can fit that in at the end then.
Yeah.
All right. Demon Slayer season 4. I haven't started yet, and
From
it's
my
just
understanding, it's exactly what you and I thought it would be, which is just
an
they took
overextended
an arc
version of an
that was
arc.
not long enough to do a full season. And I mean, they didn't do a full season. It was like 8 episodes, I think.
It's 8 episodes. The first one was an hour or some shit.
Yeah, and they extended it. And
Yeah.
then obviously they're starting the next arc, which movie trilogy I think it was,
It's
right?
it's a movie trilogy to finish it out. Yeah,
Which is a good decision.
I haven't started this one here yet, and I can't say I'm particularly enthusiastic to do so. So I think it's on the I put it on the pause list. So I'll get to it eventually. It's just well, I mean, I read the manga, so I don't have any urgency to watch it, and I also really don't know how much I don't care enough about this cast to be yes, let's extend the 4 chapter arc that happened into 8
Yes.
episodes, one of which is an hour long. It's I don't know. I'm sure it'll be an animation fest at some points, but it's gonna all mean nothing. It's just gonna be eye candy for however
Yeah.
long, and I'm gonna have to just sit through it, not really
I'm
give a
sure like the
fuck.
last episode is probably really good. 'Cause it's probably just the intro into
Yeah, everyone was
the
freaking out over the last episode because it is an introduction into the final action-packed arc or whatever. But I'm okay, I gotta sit through the rest of the season to get to that. Unfortunately, I don't know. I just
it's Demon Slayer.
yeah, they're we can't possibly not milk it dry. So let's just extend 4 chapters into 8 episodes. I don't know. I'm sure there'll be
Yeah,
some episodes they do fine, and then some where I'm well, it should have stayed just 2 pages instead of a full episode.
yeah. I don't know. It's they kind of probably back themselves into a little bit of a corner too with the way that they've adapted everything. Where it was like, oh well, we need to have this, but do we really want to waste, 45 minutes of the first movie on this? So
Yeah.
it's probably necessary, but also
Almost you could just worked in an episode at the end of season 3 or some shit.
yeah.
Or just an OVA or something. Something it'll just have
I think an
a
OVA type
special.
thing would have been good.
We'll just have a special in the middle of the it's what 4 chapters you can do 4 chapters in an hour easily.
Yeah.
Really should be doing it in under an hour, way under an hour. But I don't know.
I mean,
This is definitely
eight
something that could have just
episodes,
been
what, like
a
2.5?
special, and
Yeah.
then been yay! If this gets best fantasy, I'm gonna scream because there's no way. But surely it doesn't get nominated. It's just a training arc, It's gonna get nominated. I'm gonna scream. But Freerun will be there to
We're
save
hoping.
us.
Freeman will be there. Mashoku Tensei will get a third attempt at it.
Yeah, it won't win, but
It won't, but he'll get a third
If the
try.
first season didn't do it, no other season's gonna be doing it. All right. Next up, Kaiju 8. I actually did finish this one round of applause for me for actually finishing something this season.
You know what's else crazy? I finished this one.
Oh my
Ooh.
god, it's insane,
I'm the odd
unprecedented
one
in
out.
recent times.
Absolutely bonkers.
Yeah,
Kaiju 8,
I
good.
enjoyed it. It's like
They like,
I almost put it like on the same level, kind of like how I felt about like the first season of JJK, where I'm like, this is nothing world breaking, but I do have fun with it, you know.
yeah, it's just doing what it wants to do well.
Yeah,
My only thing with it, so I did read all of the manga partway through this season,
yeah,
and they got like kind of goofy with some of the anime character designs. Like they look like the characters, but also I think like some of the characters just look a lot cooler in the manga, and when you watch their like anime counterpart, they're like super goofy. With like, it's not a big offender because he only shows up in the last episode, but the commander of the first group, when they tease him
yeah.
at the end, he's like probably the biggest offender that I saw. That I was like, well, that's like a really goofy design compared to like the manga design.
Yeah, I saw people complaining like when the first anime was first revealed, people were like, "Oh my god, the character designs," but I think it's just more towards like this is gonna be easier to animate, and so we'll do it this way.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
I would agree.
yeah,
But that was like my only really thought with that is just they did get a little zany with some of the character
I
designs.
feel like my only complaint with the character designs is some of the heads can be very like oval, like too
Hmm.
oval, and so it kind of like compresses their face a little bit sometimes. But other than that, like I didn't really have any complaints. It's you know character design. It's not like egregious or anything. It's like worn fine, especially after you watch it for a bit. You know, you're just used to the character designs, so it's then not
Yep,
particularly a big deal for me.
it's shonen. There's just action, and you'll forget after a little bit anyway, even if it is a little jarring sometimes.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, season 2 was confirmed. Don't know when that'll come out, but you know, I think that's very unsurprising that season 2 got confirmed. But
Yeah, the current manga arc's really good, but we sadly won't get that until like an eventual season 3, maybe 4.
it's got through what, like 30, 40 chapters.
I think so. I think we talked about this, and it was like
We probably did, do.
enough that it was like season 2 won't sniff that arc, but it'll probably be like right on the line.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see where it goes from here. Because right now it's like it's very typical shonen is like the
Hmm.
way I put it. Other than like the main character being older, which is we talked about this when you and I talked about it when Spat was dead.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just like I'll be interested to see if it ever does anything more than what it does now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't have too much else to say. It's enjoyable. I think I rated it like 8 out of 10. You know, maybe I change my mind in the future on that, but for right now, I mean, it would never move much anyway. Like at most, it'd be like down to 7.5 at worst. But oh, I'll keep it at 8. I enjoyed it. Next up, Konosuba season 3. I finished this, and I've said before that it's definitely like the best Konosuba installment without contest, in my
What
opinion.
makes it good or better? I shouldn't say good, but better.
I feel like the comedy was more like the comedy was definitely more on point, and
Oh, okay, okay. Well, I mean that
uh,
is the appeal, right? Yeah.
yeah,
Kind of whole,
the
yeah.
characters felt more like characters who obviously have like their stupid side, but still are like people at the end of the day. Um, the and so there's definitely like I think I said this before as well that there are out of pocket jokes, but I don't feel like there's many out of pocket. Like it felt less reliant on being out of pocket to uh make humor, I guess.
Mhm.
Um, and so yeah, I definitely enjoyed that. I was a little worried after like the Megumin spinoff. I'm like, oh, I hope
That they
this
were
is
gonna
like.
go like too far in the other direction.
I was worried that it'd be more like that, but it wasn't
Yeah.
really at all. Um, so yeah, this was definitely like an enjoyable season to watch. Um, I don't know. I don't think anything has been said on if it'll continue or not. I imagine it probably will at some point.
I would also imagine it would.
I mean, it came back after all this time. They did the Megumin spinoff. It'll come back at some point.
Mhm.
But for right now, this is what we have. Definitely not something I'll ever go read, but I'll continue watching it into future seasons. Next up, Mushoku Tensei Season 2 Part 2. I also finished this 3 in a row. Let's go. Can't say,
Oh,
well,
let's
yeah,
go.
yeah. Big accomplishment here after having to fucking delay this, like, review session from last week. Um, yeah, so this is, like, definitely, but I like this a lot more, I think, than the first part of Season 2. The end got a little muddy in, like, the last episode. The last 2 episodes, really. It's complicated. I can't
Yeah, I was
say
gonna say
anything without spoilers, but
I've seen a little bit of spoilers. I know a little bit of like weirdness, but I've mostly stayed away.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I feel like I've seen this on Twitter too. Yeah.
I think it's more nuanced than the way some people probably want to argue it, but at the same
Oh, for sure.
time, I don't know. It involved what was like one of my favorite characters, and now I think less of them, which is not ideal. But
The one that's one of my favorite characters too, probably. That would
uh,
make sense.
I don't know. I have no idea what your favorite characters were.
Yeah, it's valid.
But yeah. I mean, there's some characters I appreciate more out of this season for sure. It was a good season, like don't get me wrong. Like the very end being a little awkward, and I don't know, like it's probably better than the not maybe the novels flesh it out more. I don't know, but
I'm
I
sure
just
the novels did.
the way. Yes, okay. I see you all both though. Both
Yeah,
probably have.
yeah, yeah. I was wondering, but yeah, I
Yeah.
think
So
that's it.
some awkward things happen in
Mhm.
regards
Yeah, yeah.
Sure,
like
sure,
that,
sure.
but yeah.
I know like the short version of awkward things, but not the long version,
Yes.
which is
Yeah.
fine because Mushoku Tensei for me is stuck in an eternal group watch that is never going to happen because one of us is European, one of us works first shift, and one of us works third shift. So it's a mega cope group watch hell.
Yeah. I I don't know. I don't agree with the way things went down. I don't think it really makes sense for the character in question, but and I also think I don't know. It's just since you both know, I mean, I'll keep it like spoiler free. But after like the first part of season 2 built up something for like an entire season to get to that point, and then like in part 2, just at the very end, like that happens. It's like
They just
real.
do
It's
it.
like oh, that was quick. Okay. Um, yeah. It's just I don't know. It felt I don't mind that kind of route because I was expecting it anyway, but I just don't
Yeah, it
like
was
how
always
it
gonna,
I just don't like how it
always gonna
happened.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's just I don't know. If it goes a certain way and like talks about this like the way this happened in a more nuanced way, because I don't know, it kind of leaves like the relationships feeling like an undertone of like toxicity that's like completely unaddressed, and I don't think it's actually going to ever be addressed. I don't know. It made one. I don't know. It made me think less of a character that I really liked, and then a character that I didn't have too much of an opinion on. It made me think less of them in terms of like they feel more cardboard cutout. Just I don't know. Anyway, Slime season 3. I caught up to it at one point, and then I uncaught up to it. Now I'm behind again. But I think when just as I escape the meetings, I think I'm gonna get like a couple episodes of freedom, then like go back to meetings. So
You can never escape the
I can
meetings.
never escape the meetings. I don't know. I'll see. I don't know if that's actually the case, but I've seen like people getting pretty fed up with it at this point. Yeah, because it's like, people are like, we don't care about the dialogue, but when the dialogue all takes place in one room for an entire episode, multiple episodes in a row, it's like, uh, but yeah, I don't know. I don't. It's just more slime, just with a lot more talking in one specific place, which definitely can drag. And we talked about this before though, so I'm not gonna go too deep into slime, and especially since I'm not cut up and it's not finished anyway. Next up, Windbreaker. I'm 10 out of 13 on this one. So I don't know what happens at the end. Season 2 is confirmed, but we knew that from before the season even started
Yeah.
from leakers. Yeah, I mean, I think I've said everything I need to say on the show before. Choreography, very good. Animation, incredible. And that's about it. It's like literally just, I don't know. I see a lot of people like, oh my god, like the storytelling and like characters in this are incredibly insane. I'm like, I don't know about that. Like, there's like one character I look at, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I actually like what they did with this guy. But the rest of them are like very generic characters, at least for right now. But yeah, I mean, I'm just here for the fights at this point anyway. So it entertains me if nothing else. I'll give it that. Um, Not really like a Tokyo Avengers but better situation. It's like definitely a worse story, just with more like I don't like hate seeing these characters on screen.
Right. Is Tokyo below or above averagers? I still remember that the Tokyo Averagers meme. I was like, uh,
I love calling it Tokyo Avengers.
it's
I
yeah,
think
it's,
we were playing anime music quiz one time. I think PK and I were on a team. We both typed in Tokyo Avengers, and then
We
so we
definitely both.
skipped. We skipped the fucking vote.
Because if everyone has an answer in, it skips automatically. And so the other team submitted their answer, and then we both Tokyo Avengers, and we didn't have time to change it.
Yeah, so we
It was
just
worth it,
slammed
but it was
Tokyo. Yeah,
funny.
it was worth it. It's so true. Uh, Next up, Spice and Wolf. I haven't watched since episode 3. I'll get back to it. Like when I was like trying to get to my catch up phase, I'm like, okay, this is 2 cores. It's gonna continue. I can get to this later, and that was kind of my thoughts on that. So yeah, I don't really have any continuing opinion on Spice and Wolf, and I don't know if I've really seen anyone talking about it recently. I'll see like
I
an
haven't either.
occasional clip of it or something, but it's usually just like hollow doing hollow things. So I don't really know what's going on in it, and I don't really know how people like what people's opinions on it are right now.
I mean, I feel like
Yeah,
since it's been so quiet, it's probably just like
fine.
doing a good adaptation of like things that most people have already seen. So
Yeah,
it's like not much to talk about on both ends.
it's also a long story, so I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe that plays a part because it's like there's some build up or whatever. Not everything's happening like every single episode, right? So I don't know. That could play a factor into why there's like not that much hype around it.
yeah. I guess I forgot to mention with Mushoku Tensei actually, season 3 did get confirmed, and apparently, they don't plan on releasing season 3 for like another 2 years at
For a
least.
while. Yeah.
So they're gonna be taking their time theoretically with it. But yeah, moving on. I finished this 20 minutes before we started this episode, but Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night, which I think it lost a bit of steam towards the end. Like, I liked the first half a lot more than the second half, I think, but I still liked it overall. Um, it's like, definitely the best part of it I would say is the direction and like the aesthetic, followed by the voice acting, and then kind of the characters probably come last, which is a bit unfortunate. It's like I feel like they needed more time to cook, like maybe another 4 episodes. I don't know. It feels like a light novel that like finished a little bit short, if I had to put it anyway. Which I guess kind of makes sense because it's written by a light novel author and it's his first time ever writing for an anime script. So
Right.
that's just how it goes sometimes. Growing pains, I guess. Uh, but yeah, I still thoroughly enjoyed my time watching it. Like, I'd say my biggest complaint is that of the the quartet we had going on, May as a character kind of felt like she was kind of useless. I don't know. Like of all the characters, like all of them got like pretty introspective like looks at them that I really liked, and then she was just kind of like off to the side, and I didn't really like her character to begin with, and so when like they don't do anything with her, and I also don't really like her that much, it's just kind of like, oh well,
Mhm.
I guess she's there, you know. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I do feel like I would have wanted a little more, but I think in the end it did a fine job. But I wasn't the only one to watch this one, because Pat also watched it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like I'm still kind of digesting it. It's just how do I like describe it? It's just like I like the emotional moments and I like the art and everything like that, but like I think it's just it's like there's not enough meat. I don't know, like some emotional parts it felt like there wasn't like enough build up to it. I don't know, that's just like my opinion on it. It's just that's yeah. I still have to digest and think more about it. I don't like it's not super negative or anything, but like I like the show. It was just yeah, it's just I felt like something was missing, and I can't really put my finger on it. That's all I can really say about it. But it wasn't bad. That's what I'll say.
So what you're saying is it needed more Yuri. That's what I'm hearing.
I,
That's what
I
you're
did not say
saying.
that.
I mean, I'll say it.
Oh yeah, that's your opinion on it. Okay, fair. No, that's not really. It's just like I don't know. I think the show would have been benefited by being like a couple episodes longer, but I don't know. It's just I guess you don't really have a choice, right? With so few episodes, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like I feel like I need another week to like digest it. It's just felt like something was missing. That's all my like opinion on it is really. So yeah.
All right, well, moving on then. Unnamed Memory I have on pause because I want to read the novels before I continue this, because apparently it's a dog shit adaptation and is an affront to God. So at some point
Yeah, everything
I'll
I've
read the
seen,
novels and then continue.
everything I've seen since it came out, I'm like, oh, it actually sounds like I would enjoy it, but also everything is said, the adaptation's dog shit. So
Yeah, everyone's like, "Oh my god, episode 1 was actually like pretty good," and then after that's like, "Oh, it's terrible," and then it like kept being
Mhm.
terrible, and then they announced part 2, which I think they're just trying to like fully adapt it within 2 parts, and that's why they skipped everything. I don't know. But yeah, basically I'm in full. After this, I'm like full doomer mode for Medalist. So yeah, but that's a problem for another time. Bartender. I never
Oh, I
continued
watched that
past
one.
episode 2, but I didn't put it on pause, so I'll get it done soon enough.
Yeah, it's just chill. Like I, this one's also like I like the show, but it wasn't like there weren't very many like super high highs or super low lows. You know, it's not like a very like emotionally, at least in my opinion, it wasn't very like emotionally engaging, like with intense emotions. I would say, but I did like the story. I liked the characters. I liked the setting of like a bar is just very different from like a lot of settings you'd see in anime. Like it's just unique, right? Um, just the idea of like a bartender and like their interactions with different kinds of people that come into the bar. I think that's like really it's just unique. That's kind of my opinion on it. I like the premise and I think overall the show was good. I like yeah, it was good. It was enjoyable. Um, but I think I don't want to say it's carried by the premise, but I think just the for me the biggest appeal was just how unique the premise was in comparison to a lot of other shows I've seen, and I think it did a good job of kind of like showing like some of the interactions with like the bartender and different kinds of people, like a person who just got divorced, a person who is you know is like depressed, a person who, a couple who's about to get married, things like that. Different kinds of people and the bartender's interaction, like what kind of drinks he makes for them. Some of the like old traditions of like cocktail making and things like that. So I like the premise. I like the show. That's just my opinion on it. So
Yeah, after I watched the first couple episodes, I'm like, I probably generally understand like how this is gonna go from here.
yeah, yeah, it doesn't change too much
Yeah, it has
from
like
there.
the underlying story technically, but I doubt that they're like
Yes,
particularly important.
but there's like a lot of it's like a lot of episodic elements where it's like each
Yeah,
episode there's kind of like a different interaction and different kind of theme and a different drink. You get to learn about like different kinds of cocktails, some very unique ones for sure, throughout the episodes. So yeah.
yeah. Continuing on, Whisper Me a Love Song is delayed indefinitely, I think, and so I have it on pause because I hadn't watched it in a while. I'm like, okay, I'll deal with this later, perhaps when it finishes. But yeah, I think it's like the last two episodes are like we don't know when they're gonna come out.
I'm thinking
But
I'm probably just gonna read it.
yeah,
I think that's where the vibes
I don't
are
think
for
it's
me.
worth watching if you're interested in the series, considering how the anime has been received versus like how people talk about like the manga. So it's something I'll get back to eventually, but uh, it's definitely on the later train. But another romance that I have, this one I kept on watching because I'll finish it eventually. But Condition Called Love. I didn't. I watched 3 episodes of it, and we've talked about it before. Where like
Oh yeah, that's
people were kind of looking at it and be like, "Oh, it's like a toxic relationship." It's like, yeah, that's kind of the point. Um, but I don't know.
yeah.
I didn't watch it past 3. I don't remember if I anything that I read was beyond episode 3 or not, and I probably wouldn't remember anyway. Um, but yeah, it's something I'll get back to eventually. It's something I know people around me have talked highly of, but uh, everyone has their own taste. So maybe I'll go in and I'll hate it, and maybe I'll think it's peak too. So we'll see. Yozakura Family. I've fallen behind a little bit. I haven't watched since episode 7, so I'm a fair bit behind. But I've talked about how I liked it before, so I don't really have too much more to add on that right now.
Good. It's
Um,
still going too, right?
yeah,
Or is it
it's still
just
continuing.
about to
Yeah,
end?
it's gonna be 27 episodes, and episode
Okay.
14 is tomorrow,
Yep.
or like a couple days, something like that. So yeah, it's something I'll be continuing. I might read it at some point if I continue to like it. I don't know. It won't be like a priority read or anything. I still have other things
It's
I
a
want
fun
to
read.
do before that, but um, yeah, I've at least enjoyed my time with it so far. Um, yeah, it's kind of like unfortunate for it that it's like in the Disney hell or whatever,
Hmm.
because it's well, nothing ever gets as popular when it's like stuck in like Disney specifically, because they don't do any marketing for anything that they have. I don't know if it's Hulu or Disney. I mean, they're the same fucking thing anyway. But anyway, Data Life 5. I have
I think it's
not.
Hulu.
Yeah, I have not continued since episode 1, but I'll get it done eventually. Um, I've seen some people saying that this might end up just being like the last season that they make of this. Because I think there's a company in China or something that was actually like funding the anime entirely, and then that company went bankrupt or something. I don't know how true that is. I
Oh
never like
yikes.
looked into that. um,
Oh, so they might just end it just from a lack of like funding and stuff like
yeah,
that.
there's like no one
Yeah,
who's like
Yeah.
looking to make this, but I mean, Data Life
right.
is pretty popular regardless. I think I don't
Yeah,
really
it seems
know.
reasonable.
Um, yeah, I don't know any of the situation behind that. It's like
Yeah.
they wouldn't have to do much more to get like a full adaptation of it. I think like another season.
Yeah.
I think is
Pretty
what
sure
it
there's like
is.
a couple novels or something like that at
Yeah, there's
most.
not a lot left. It's not really something I'm interested in reading. I don't think. So it'll be. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if I like feel satisfied with the way this ends versus like if I would want another couple, like another season to finish out. We'll see. Um, I feel like at this point, if I was like the publisher, I'd just look at it and be like, "Fuck it, dude, let's just finish it out." I guess I don't know.
Yeah. Let's
Um,
just find
let's just like scourge some funds together and put it. I mean, I don't know. I worry to watch it because I feel like I'm gonna get done with it, and it's like I can just tell that there's gotta be like a fair amount of action since it's like towards the end, and it's like the action did not look good last season, so I'm just kind of like worried
Ooh.
that I'm gonna
Like
like
in
not
terms
be.
of like animation or just like in
Yeah, no,
general,
it's
like
like pretty
things.
like
Yeah.
abysmal CGI.
Okay.
Like if they ever go into the air, it's like they put it all CGI and it's awful looking. So I'm just wondering if I might have a hard time taking it seriously if it looks like as dog shit as it did last season.
Right.
Yeah. Let's see. Next up.
I've been thinking about picking up the Daylight 2 where I'm at soon. It hasn't come. It hasn't actually gotten to the point where I have, but I've hovered over it multiple times. Feel like maybe it's time.
Maybe.
I only watched the first season, but that was like one of my first shows. I don't know. My opinion may have changed, but I know there's a dedicated fan base. So
I only watched a
Yeah.
little bit further than you. I watched like the next arc, like 4 episodes or so.
Yeah.
Met
Uh.
the best girl
Yeah. You're at
for the
the
moment.
twins, and then you go into the idol. Let's see. Girls Band Cry
Yeah,
next up.
because somehow
Oh no, continue.
that was because I became the twins guy. At this script got flipped, but this is the second week in a row. P liking twins has come up after us talking about next
Yeah,
little
the
twin
twin
romance next
romance. Yeah.
season.
oh yeah.
So somehow that script has gotten flipped on me.
Yeah, we take those. Again, someone else has to get hit with some allegations out here. I can't be the only one.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with twins. It's just the twins that you like specifically might be a little suspect.
Look. Anyway, moving on. Let's see. Girls Band Cry. I haven't finished it yet, but I will at some point. I'm five episodes in.
I actually, I have to finish it too. I'm like 4 episodes in. I don't know. I don't hate it. It's just the we've talked about it, but yeah, it's just
Yeah, I think
weird.
we talked about it in
Yeah, we talked. But
enough.
anyway, I just want to say that like I did like the episodes I've seen so far, and I do want to continue it. It's just yeah. I think I've gotten kind of more used to the 3D thing. It just is jarring at first, but
Yeah, I'll
we'll
be
see.
In
interested to see
recent,
like if I go
yeah,
through these episodes and be like, do I like it as much as other people like it? Because people on Twitter constantly rave about this, and I'm like, I like the
Yeah.
5 episodes I watched, but I'm not gonna call this like anime of the season or anime of the year.
God
So
tier.
so it's like, I mean, who knows? Maybe by the end I do call it anime of the season. Even though I think that probably goes to either Mushoku or Hibike at this point. But I don't know. I haven't finished Hibike yet either, so we'll get that bridge when we cross it. But
I
yeah,
just need to take the time to actually go find Girls Band Cry. I know it's not like going to be that hard to go find, but I just haven't
I
attempted.
think now it might be easier, but I don't
yeah.
know.
And now that it's finished,
Lately,
you
when
could
I've
like
been
just
watching stuff, I'm
pick your
so
favorites and
far
you'd be
behind.
fine.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? Like lately, I'm so far behind that when I want to watch anything, I just open up like the Crunchyroll app on my phone or
Yeah.
something like super easy and brain dead like that. And it's like, oh, what's on here that I haven't watched yet?
Yeah.
All right.
But next up,
You haven't watched Eurocamp season 3 yet, right?
no, I haven't. We haven't gotten through season 2 yet. We're like a couple episodes
Gotcha.
in. Next up is Train to the End of the World, which I have not finished yet. 8 episodes in. But I don't really. Yeah, we've talked about it enough. I don't really have anything else to add other than like I enjoy it. It's
Goofy,
fun,
kind of fun.
zany.
Yeah.
Has its problems, but I'll get it done at some point. I
What
was
was
gonna
it,
get it done today
70?
before the thing, but then or before podcast, but then I didn't do that. I played an entire Elden Ring run, like starting yesterday into
I
today.
was gonna try and watch some more stuff, and what ended up happening is I'm staying with a friend this week, and I've been trying to get him to watch Shangri-La Frontier.
I see.
So we ended up watching the first like 9 or 10 episodes of Shangri-La Frontier over the last couple days,
Classic.
which has been worth it. Great
Yeah.
show, but that's cut into a lot of the time. Plus, like I've watched a couple of the episode ones for stuff this next season. But I haven't backwatched.
I've only watched the first episode of Oshinoko. I haven't started anything new yet. Besides,
I watched.
yeah.
I liked. At the end, if we have a little time, we could talk about the stuff I've watched. But I liked all 3 of the episode ones I saw.
Yeah. Hibike season 3. I just talked about it. This is probably gonna end up my anime this season. I'm 9 episodes in. I may as well have finished it by this point because Twitter won't fucking stop spoiling me about it. But I've
Life.
definitely enjoyed it so far. I think my one problem would be is that sometimes it feels some of the interactions can get a bit with it's like with one specific character, the interactions can get very like repetitive. Where I'm like, okay, we've been through this. But other than that, it's the tags for
TBK, it's
Hibike
good.
are so funny to me. 'Cause, like they have
Wait, I
they
gotta
have
go look at the tags.
Yuri on there at 58%,
Bisexual.
and right below it is
58%.
bisexual.
You're coping.
Yeah, it's literally just 2 cope tags. It's so funny to me.
You're coping.
Especially now that it's over, so it's like definitively not Yuri. It's like I don't know. That group will always be funny to me. No,
I had to.
It's funny just because. Yep.
Oh no, you can continue that. I was just saying I had to use the restroom, so I missed. I don't know if you guys talked about Train to the End of the World, but I missed that.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah,
We'll circle back.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
All I was gonna say is it's funny because like I've been talking about this with a friend of mine who's been watching Given lately. And I was talking about
guitar,
how
yeah.
since I watch so many of these like random music anime, like a lot of my feeds are just like covered in like Yuri fan art of just like randomly the characters, right? Because like Bandori, all the girls are shipped with each other.
Sure, of course.
I've been getting girls band Cry stuff because it's all the other girl bands I watch.
Any spoilers? Well, I guess you wouldn't
No
know.
spoilers, I don't think, or at least nothing I could like register as a spoiler.
Exactly, yeah,
But like I already know the ships that people have for it, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But it makes me laugh every time like Hibike comes up because Hibike is like the most cope of all of those to me. And I don't know, I'm just always amused by it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Yuri
Train to the End of the
fans
World.
are something else. I'll have to reconsider our placement of Yuri fans when we go to the remastered Force fan base tier list.
Oh yeah, we have to do that.
I mean,
sometime,
we'll discuss. I think Yuri fans are like fine.
They're interesting.
It's a coin flip.
They do reach.
Whenever it comes to shipping,
which is fair.
It just has a tendency to become like weird.
Yeah,
but
there's Yuri fans like Lugia where I'm like, this is a guy who just likes his Yuri, and then there's Yuri fans like the people you'll see on Twitter, and like these people need to be like in a mental asylum probably. But,
okay, fair.
Anyway, we can circle back to Train real quick.
Oh yeah, I don't know what specifically you said about it, but I think that was the first one I finished from this season. But it was I liked the first like 6 episodes, and then it got like kind of weird because like it was just like episode after episode of like weird stuff happening, and like the story was kind of progressing, but like just felt okay. My problem is I feel like I mentioned this before, but like if shows get too weird and like zany, I don't know if I like it.
Check out, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So like I think I mentioned this. I don't know if it was on the podcast, maybe when we talked about it before, but like one example is like the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like a lot of people love that movie. I didn't like it because like a bunch of weird stuff happens, and like people have like hot dog fingers, and like I don't know, just like stuff coming out of people's like shoes, and like it just feels like a middle schooler made it. And like when shows do that, like I understand it's for like a certain kind of appeal and there's a purpose behind it, but like to me it just kind of loses, like if it becomes like too unserious, it like becomes a little bit weird for me. And I felt like Training Another World was kind of doing that, even though I get it, that's the gimmick, that's like part of it. But like for me personally, it was just it got a little bit weird near the middle. Then near the end, I thought it was okay. Still a bit weird. Overall, my opinion on the show is pretty positive. I like the characters, and I mean the weirdness, like it works. It's just just for me personally, it becomes like if there's too much of it, it just becomes a little bit over the top. But overall, I mean, my opinion on the show was like relatively positive. Yeah, that's just my opinion on it.
Yeah. Okay. Blue Archive. I haven't watched since episode 2. I'll get it done at some point, but
Bro, just keep watching the opening and the ending. That's all you
don't have
need.
to.
yeah, I don't think it's
What's the
gonna get.
general consensus been? 67%
I have
score.
no idea. I think Blue Archive fans like it, and then like anyone else
Yeah,
probably
that's what I
doesn't care too
figured.
much
It's
for it.
just like
It's like
it's appealing to a
Like if
niche
you're
audience,
not
right? Yeah.
invested,
yeah, like
because like with the pre-con anime, like there was a lot of people who got into pre-con because the anime was really good.
yeah, I don't foresee this being like the like maybe for some people, but I think this is like an anime for the fans versus like an anime to make fans, if that makes sense.
It does
Yeah.
say that the anime adapted specific parts of the story, which is good to know.
Yeah, it
Not that I'll ever watch it, but
adapted like
it's
the
like I like
start of the
the
story.
idea of these video game animes adapting the actual story, or at least like some form of story rather than just like mess around with the characters. Just because usually a lot of these games have pretty good stories.
Yeah. Um, I'll get back to it at some point. It's I just wish I think the production quality is just very inconsistent, which at least from the 2 episodes I watched. So hopefully that gets better like as I go through. I didn't really see too many people talking about it throughout the season, other than like a couple scenes that I saw. So yeah, I don't really have too much of an opinion on this right now. But yeah, I will bring back opinions of the things I haven't finished whenever I do finish them.
As they get finished, yeah.
Yeah, like the next thing, the one room Angel romance thing. I'm not really looking forward to watching this one, but I think I'm gonna finish it anyway. Like I already watched 4 episodes, so it's like closer to completion than the other things that I'm not looking forward to finishing. So, you know,
It'll
um,
probably get a decent placing in the queue just off of being a little bit further.
yeah, it's like slightly further ahead, and it's gonna be like lightly more bearable than the other ones probably. So I'll get it done at some
That's
point.
real though. I definitely watch the things that I'm like, oh, it's a 2 hour commitment faster than a 4 hour commitment, regardless of whether I like it more or not.
Yeah. Um. Also, something I need to finish. I only ever watched 1 episode of this. I have it on pause, but I'll finish. This is also something I'll continue watching sooner rather than later. The Seiyu Radio. Uh, yeah, I just like fell behind on
I
it, and like
almost
this is like
watched
not
more of
something I'm
this.
dedicated to. Like this, this is like a friend show. That's why I started it, and
Yep.
so it's something I'll get done with at some point. But I'm not like itching at the skin to be like I have to finish this right now. And so that's why it's on pause.
I almost watched more of this yesterday, but Shangri-La Frontier called.
Yeah. Um, and the very last thing here, Neon Animation Season 2, which we need to group watch at some
We're
point.
gonna binge watch
Yeah,
soon.
I have not, we
Yeah.
have not watched it, so that is something we need to get done. Um, yeah. There's nothing to say about that, obviously, then, if I can watch it, but
Oh yeah, that's like an hour, right?
no, not even.
Because
It's
they're like
it's
mini short.
12,
No,
it's
it shouldn't
12
even be.
episodes of
But
like, it says 4 minutes here, but I imagine that's probably like 3 minutes plus the ending. This is like, it's like a 30-minute, I guess like 40, I don't know. Less than an hour. Depends on how long the episodes actually are. I don't know if any are shorter or longer. Because I feel like Annulus usually just takes like the general length. Uh, but if like maybe episode 1 is 4 minutes, they just put 4 minutes. I don't know. We'll find out when we watch it. That'll be something to do. Um, I guess
Yeah.
kind of speaking of Love Live, apparently Sunshine is getting another
It
special
is getting a little.
farewell
I don't even know
gift.
exactly what to call it, but yeah.
Because I think the Sunshine Aquas, they're like done with performances after one of their lives soon or something like that. Or at least they've announced like this is like the finale time. And so I guess they're you know, paying all those names right there. We have the Love Liver tag. You could have just done that.
I forgot we have that tag. Who actually has that? I mean, surely
I have no
all the Love
idea, but
Livers have it. But
I used it for the Sunshine announcement, so
yeah, I
yeah,
just kind of forgot that we had that.
understandable. It's
People.
probably been used like 2 times maybe.
I mean, that is all the people I tagged except Mars. So
Yeah. But yeah, that's everything for the pet. I almost feel like there's more. There definitely was. Let me hold on. Let me look at
Wait,
the.
did we talk about this one movie? I don't know if we did
I
because
had
it's
two
like this.
movies on my planning: Trapezium
Yeah,
there's a
and Look
couple.
Back.
Yeah, there's a couple movies, but they're not gonna actually like hit
yeah.
us for
There's
a
this
while.
one that I was like
There's
planning to
Trapezium
like.
and there's the
Oh yeah, Trapezium is like a
And
while.
Look Back.
and No Yell.
Does this have an English name?
Few Moments of Cheer. That's
Let's
in
go,
English.
Yeah, all the
bro.
I'm
movies are
excited for
gonna
both
have
of
to
those.
wait.
It'll
Yeah.
be a long
This
time.
one I like the premise. The yell, a few moments of cheers, whatever. Let's call it that. Uh, I just don't know. I mean, I assume there's might be a way to watch it. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's been a few weeks.
One thing I forgot to mention is Dungeon Mishi also finished. That was from technically last season
Right.
or 2 seasons ago. It started in winter, but it had 2 cores. So I've officially finished it now though. And I definitely liked it a lot. Like if I look at everything from the winter season, other than
Like a pretty good chunk
Sign
of
of
the
Affection,
source material, right?
yeah, I think it's like in one more season. If they do 2 cores, they'll finish.
Yeah.
It's like half the manga, I think.
Yep.
But yeah, other than I think I gave it a 9, which is tied with Sign of Affection and Danger's My Heart. So definitely one of the best things that come out from winter, and it's rated higher than anything else here I have in spring. So I guess it could technically be like anime of the season for this. We'll see where. I don't know if I see Hibike getting into a 9 for me. I guess it depends on the last few episodes. We'll see. It has been getting really good though, so maybe. Hibike right now is actually the highest rated of 2024, so
Good to know.
and 16th of all
I
time
mean,
on any
once
list
again,
at
that
least.
makes sense. That makes sense because it's one of those things where
It's
it's
definitely
like,
like
if
filtered
you're a
out the
HBK
people who don't
fan,
like it. Yeah.
yeah, only the HBK fans are watching this, and also like, there's no reason for people who don't watch TVK season 3 to like hate vote it down or anything. So
Yeah, no one like cares about it enough to the hate vote. I wonder where it is on like Mel. Let's see. Top anime. Let's just see if it's like in like the higher echelon here. Should really just control F this. It's at number 44 all time on Mel. So yeah, it's pretty high there too. It's only
nice.
got it's got 64,000 members. You know, slip it in there. That's how it be sometimes.
Well, if I ever, I mean, I have a few other shows that we have mentioned that I plan to watch, but nothing that I have anything I can say about. So
Yeah, I think. I mean, the main things from the season that like, well, number one, Girls Band Cry, and then number two, I guess like, which is like a far number two, but is like the movies and stuff like that. But I don't know, the movies is just like kind of random for me. Like I'll have a streak where I'll watch like 3 movies in 3 weeks, and then I won't watch anything for a while. So, but I was like, you know, dabbling in anime movies and seeing what that's about. But yeah, I don't know the one that we mentioned, the A Few Moments of Cheers. I really like the premise of that one, so we'll see whenever if it's available. I don't even know if it is, but that would be something I'd be interested in
special,
If it
watching.
came out this
Yeah,
season, probably not
special,
available.
yeah,
special
that's what I
Gochuucast.
figured. But you know, yeah. Oh well,
I was gonna
that's
say
the
special
unfortunate part.
podcast episode. We just watch it live.
There we
Watch
go.
it on
And
the
that's the
podcast.
podcast.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be a fantastic thing that won't cause any
Sure, that'll be
problems.
great and
Yeah.
entertaining and no issues. Yep.
Yeah, but I guess we got a little bit of time left here, so we
Yeah, so
could talk
we
about
can talk about some of
a
the
little bit of like the new season, which I'll have more opinions on obviously next time because I buy then most
I haven't
everything
started
I want to
anything, but
watch
yeah.
will have started. Almost everything, not
I
everything,
have
but
started 3 shows for the
ooh,
new season.
it's
I
already
know.
more than
Which
the
is
previous season.
I mean two of them's kind of cheating because the shows they started were the Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian,
All right.
um
Yeah.
Yeah,
Days of My Stepsister and Pseudo Harem were the 3, and then Alia and Pseudo Harem are things I've been waiting for like a while.
yeah.
So it's not
I
like
my Twitter feed was like invaded by the fucking Alia clip for like the fucking sock one. If you did
the
on
sock
Twitter,
one. Yeah.
literally
Um
just I'm gonna scream if I see this one more time on my like is the same exact same clip over and
it's the
over
same
again.
clip. It's like a 2-minute portion. It's so
Two
long
minutes, like oh my
in the
god,
episode.
peak fiction, peak fiction. I'm like yeah, all right, horny bastards, I get it, peak fiction. They put on the sock on the foot. Oh my god.
Um so we'll start with Alia then. It was really good. It was about I mean it's episode 1 of like a gimmick rom-com where they're high schoolers and they sit next to each other in the same class, and the gimmick here is she's Russian and sometimes she speaks in Russian, but it's like it's not different in that regard, right? But it was fun. I actually kind of like um the MC. To me feels like the proper amount of like degenerate for something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you watch you'll understand what I mean,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's like he's a little comically like hopeless, I guess, but not like the worst thing ever also at the same time,
Right.
I suppose. But it was good. I think it's I how do I put it? It's interesting to me the dynamic with like the things that she says in Russian. Um because it translates most of it for you obviously. So
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
and it's kind of funny. Cuz when you watch you'll see kind of what I'm saying. I'm going to not say too much to not spoil everything, but it does make me wonder like a lot of like does like why does she say the things that she says in Russian other than just like oh I can speak another language so I could just like
Flex.
say what I want without any consequences.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
For
I
sure.
don't know. To me it feels like there's a little more to it, I guess is how I would describe it.
It could just be a gimmick. I don't know. But yeah.
I think it could be a gimmick, it could be a little more complicated, who's to say.
Sure.
It
Sure.
was very
Yeah.
good though. I'll I'll enjoy it. I think of the 3 it might have been from just episode 1 my least favorite of the 3, but only cuz it was like the standard rom-com episode 1.
I saw a clip on Twitter of the show, and the guy was like, "Oh yeah, this is peak" or something like that. It was like it's kind of like a horny clip. But I saw something on Twitter about the Russian show. That's all I know. I think did I put it in my planning? I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah.
It's fun.
Um,
I
yeah.
mean, I like just off bat the Alia character feels like a character that I'm just going to like a lot. We'll see if that stays consistent throughout the show.
Yeah.
But who knows? The MC is just like funny amounts of degenerate. There's like a scene and part of it where he's just like playing his fucking gotcha game. It's like, hell yeah, I rolled this character. And I'm like, okay, but why? Why is he randomly a gotcha player? I
It
mean, sure.
builds character.
So the second one I'll talk about, Days of My Stepsister. I think given a lot of the skepticism that the title gives, I think episode 1 was pretty much exactly what I wanted it to be. It was like a really like down to earth episode that wasn't about like let's set up a weird relationship between these two step siblings, and it was more about like the like deeper sides of the whole like just having a you know a step sibling just come into your life, and now all of a sudden it's like, okay, you guys are supposed to be siblings, go on, get along.
Yeah, sure.
It was
It's
so
just
I
funny.
don't know,
The
I
premise
thought it
is just
was
like so funny to me. I know what you're saying. There's like struggles, or like the relationship, like the step sibling relationship is like different.
aren't
I know what
you
you're saying.
a
It's just like
domestic
the premise
girlfriend
is just
fan?
funny. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. It's just the premise is just funny to me. That's all.
No,
The,
that's
the
fair, that's
premise
fair.
of domestic girlfriend is whack too. Like I don't
No,
disagree.
I agree. Um and I liked that at least for the first episode there really wasn't like it felt like it at the very least I would love to think that this is not gonna go in the fucking Inseki direction,
Well,
but it's anime.
it's
And it
anime.
also
It's
has a
100%.
95% it has a 95% tag. Um so I understand that that's gonna happen. I just think if it's gonna happen, I at least want it to be more of like a like emotional bonding approach than like fucking my stepmom's daughter is my ex approach.
Yeah. I don't know. I've heard this is like more grounded than some of the other ones, but I absolutely
Yes.
guarantee it will go in a direction of
It's
which that
anime.
you probably don't like. So I guess it just depends on how it builds up to that. For
I
me,
yeah, I think it's how it goes in that direction. Like I think I've accepted that like it's probably at some point going to go in the direction I don't want, but it's like how does it get there? How quickly does it get there? Like if it's just the series ends and they've decided like, oh, we're into each other, then whatever. If it's like the season ends and they're just I don't know. I can see it going either way. But I liked that the first episode felt very like grounded and more like about the characters and them like reacting to like the real issues that someone would have in these situations than like, oh man, my stepsister's hot now.
I think
And then yeah,
yeah. No, I was just saying that I think the one I'm excited about is Code Geass and Oshidaka, obviously, but like the Code Geass one, it's like the ones I'm
Code
excited
Geass one
about.
has like 4 episodes out, right?
Yeah, it's been running for
It
a
has
while,
a
I
good
think.
amount.
But I just wanted to catch up on everything from the previous season. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm excited for a few shows this season, so and I've got some time, so I'll try to keep up with everything as much as I can. So yeah.
Fair enough. So the last thing I watched was Pseudo Harem, which is one of my favorite rom coms that I've read.
Oh
And
right, this
it's
one, yeah.
first episode is great. I mean, this is one of those rom coms that I don't want to say it doesn't take itself too seriously, but there's like not usually a lot of like plot throughout most of it. It's mostly just like show up, have fun, have like a cute little mini story. The source material is really small, like a couple pages per chapter. So it's very much just kind of like a clock in 20 minutes of cuteness, clock out, nothing really to stress or think about. Does have this meme, which made me laugh.
yeah, the one SCB posted,
Yeah.
the
But
one girlfriend who loves you.
the whole gimmick is that the the main female lead is a aspiring actress. Like they're in the drama club and everything. She's really good.
Hmm.
And as like kind of like their like gimmick as they're not really a couple at this point. They're just kind of friends. But she's like hard crushing on him. But the gimmick that she ends up doing And she kind of acts out all these different like character archetypes, like all the Deres and stuff like that. And so it kind of becomes like, instead of having, a real harem with, a tsundere and the cool character and everything, it's just this one girl just switching between her little acted out personalities. And it's very cute, very fun. First episode was very cute, very fun. It's been a lot of mixed opinions by people on it, but I'm always going to be a little biased because I am a fan of the series. I think generally most people have really liked it. It does have like a really um character design to it because it's very similarly designed to the manga. But I think that's something that a lot of people don't care for too much.
Yeah, that's something. I think everything you mentioned I'll go to at some point. I've only watched one thing from the season so far. That was Oshinoko's first episode, which was incredible, by the way. Like
Okay, I'm excited. Maybe if I have some time
the
tonight, I'll watch
I
it.
think I still technically have to finish season 1.
not technically
I
you
mean,
do
you're
have to finish.
kind
I
of
mean
caught up.
you've read the manga. You could just skip.
Yeah.
We'll check on that.
Um,
Well, yeah. But that's why I say technically, because I
Yeah.
could skip, but there's no reason to.
Yeah.
yeah. But the art direction, music, it was like just the direction. Like it was all just really really great. The opening and ending are really good again. That's cool. Um, but yeah, it's just they know the assignment. First season was extremely popular. They're all right. Let's step it up a bit. And I just hope it continues this way like throughout the entire season. Just it's an extremely good premiere episode that we're back. That's where we are right now. So yeah, I mean that's all I have to say on that. I don't want to spoil anything, obviously, for Spat since he doesn't read. So.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'll watch some of the first episodes from, well, I guess first and probably second episodes of some of the new stuff from the new season this week, and yeah, I'm excited, especially for Oshinoko. I'm just like, I mean, I even said it a few weeks ago that I'm like, this is the one I'm really really excited about. So
Yeah, very very good first episode, and I hope it keeps that energy. There are a number of things I need to start. Some things came today, 2.5D, and then the dungeon thing.
Anything. Oh, you're right. Those did come out today. I'm gonna say I
Dungeon
don't know if
people.
anything came out that I was gonna watch today. It's like the weird part of start of the season. I don't actually know. I know we have the list posted somewhere, but I don't actually
Yeah,
know what comes out when. So I'm kind of just like waiting.
dungeon
Which
people
I mean,
came
like
out
knowing the
today.
list.
What you have on plan in the
Yeah,
yeah.
knowing the list doesn't change much. Like I'd still gotta wait for it to come out anyway. But okay, Elusive Samurai comes out on Saturday. The VTuber and Wistoria come out on Sunday. Good to know.
Yeah, we got a
Sunday's
few
got a few
things
things for
dropping
me.
soon. It's gonna take, let's see, another 12 days, then I'll have everything out. Mostly, like, I think it's like 8 days for the majority of stuff. But then there's like Sengoku Yoko for some reason, just 12 days later.
Hmm.
But it's gonna be a 2 core experience, so like, the timing really doesn't matter that much, I guess. But yeah, I guess that is gonna be the end for this year episode. Next week, I'm sure we'll have plenty of tales to bring from the new anime that have come out.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Perhaps I will discover some bangers. Perhaps I will discover some pain. Um,
So yes,
yeah, I got called like the sacrifice the other day, like because I just go through like a whole bunch of shit, and if I find some bangers, I share with the class. If I find some shitters, I share with the class.
yeah, true,
I keep
true.
everyone safe from expectations, and having to waste 20 minutes of their own time. Um, Granted, even when I do find some bangers, not everyone always agrees. Um, me when I came back and said Onimai was good. Obviously, it was not taken very well by PK. Um,
And now I can say the stepsister anime is good. And
There
yeah,
you
you
go.
you're
I was
like,
gonna,
what?
I was gonna watch that anyway. That doesn't count.
Yeah, that's me every time I say I like Domestic Girlfriend. So it's we have all got our interesting opinions, I guess.
I just had to bring up Domestic Girlfriend because you were
I
like,
know,
the
I
plot of this
know.
is so weird, and I'm like, one of the shows
I listen. That's
really
what I'm saying. Like,
has
whenever
like
I
a
introduce Domestic Girlfriend, it's like I know the plot is weird, but like I don't know, I liked it. Like I hate that I liked it, but I liked it. It's just yeah.
my problem is like at the moment the plot of this isn't weird, but then I'm like,
Mhm.
it's gonna get weird. Freaking anime. I
We'll
know
see.
it's
We'll
gonna get
see. Yeah,
weird. I
it's
don't
just
want
the
it to.
inevitability of anime. But yeah, fortunate.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the end of this here episode. If you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, rate 5 stars, whatever platform you're on. If you're on the audio only side of things, you'd like go to the YouTube side of things. Is the Order an Anime Podcast? We are the only one. Same thing with audio. YouTube to audio only is the Order an Anime Podcast. Can't possibly miss us. Every Saturday, 3 p.m. EST, without fail, except for when we do, there will be a new episode out for you to enjoy. So once again, hope you enjoyed this episode, and we hope to see you in another one. Thank you and goodbye.